I ask for the truth on behalf of Amanda Barrett concerning relationship issues, and ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And we just cut the deck there for you, Amanda, and then we'll just place the cards to the side. Now, I ask about relationship issues, of course, because I assume that that's what the question is about that you posted in the group. In the sense you just said, can someone read for us, please? Us as in, of course. Please and thank you, tra-la-la-la-la. So I'd assume that us is something to do with that. That's just my take on it. So what we'll do, let's see what's happening with us, as you would say, the royal us. We'll deal out 3 cards, I think, here, from this fortune deck. And of course, the first card is representative of the recent past. The second card is the present. And then the third is representative of the immediate future. So just place these others out of the way there and just neatly arrange them just so you can see what's going on there. Right, so the first card, of course, we dealt with was and is in the position of the recent past. This is a period of time about the last 3 or 4 weeks or so, in the sense of it's a moon phase behind, where the immediate future is a moon phase ahead. So that'd be about 4 or 5 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks or so ahead, wouldn't it? And then, of course, you're in the middle somewhere. Amanda Burnett there's in the middle. So let's see what was going on with us, as you would say, just recently, over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so. What's been going on? Let's just pull this card here. Well, look at that. You've got Medusa. Now, this, of course, is a bit of a warning, or has been a bit of a warning, just indicating that jealousy leads to downfall, doesn't it? I don't know if there's been a bit of concern about us, as you would say, because maybe, you know, maybe it might not be us, it might be a not us soon if we're not careful. But there's been a touch of jealousy going on. I don't know if this has been on your part, in the sense he's been speaking to somebody else and you've been taking it the wrong way, or vice versa, in the sense you can't have friends anymore. And this is what happens, isn't it? You cannot have friends anymore of the opposite sex. It doesn't mean that I'm doing anything with them. Come on. And but things can, and this leads to downfall in that way, doesn't it? In the sense he could. You could assume that the relationship was in threat just recently, or whatever. Let's just see what's happening with it now, though. Of course, that was the past, and doesn't necessarily mean, yes, it I suppose can have an effect on what's happening now, in the sense of the element of of course, that's to do with communication and knowledge and things like that, isn't it? And and of course the signs, the star signs, the air signs, they're Libra, Gemini and Aquarius, aren't they? So I don't know if he's one of them, or you are, or whatever. There's somebody with that sort of energy going around there, and it's just really advising at the moment you're having to seek a union, or just saying really that you're having to seek a union of mind and spirit. You're basically having to come to some agreement between you and yourself, in the sense of you on this plane, the thought plane, as you would say, and of course the spiritual plane, about this relationship and about us, in the sense of where the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak, and that sort of thing. And maybe that's what the jealousy has done, has put you in this position where you've got to sort of come to some agreement now that getting jealous, if getting jealous is going to be the way it goes, then what do we do? Do we split now or carry on? I don't know. But certainly this union of mind and spirit, I suppose he could really just be saying there's a bit of growing up to do as well, isn't there, in that sense? Not so much a growing up to do in becoming one to, you know, from becoming to a child to an adult or anything, but growing up in the sense of the relationship itself growing up a bit, being a bit more grown up in the relationship. The relationship itself has to be a bit more grown up a bit. Because it was a question about the relationships. Of course, that's, you link that energy not just to say you've got to seek a union of mind and spirit coming to some agreement between you and yourself, but the relationship itself has got to come to some knowledgeable and pragmatic sort of not just conclusion, but certainly the trend has to be set, doesn't it? Let's see what the energy is in the immediate future. Where is this going to result? What's going to end up? And we could probably investigate why, maybe, if that's the case. The king, of course, there's a lot of, that's from the royal court, isn't it? And just indicating the authority and the diplomacy that's going to be quite prominent in the next 3 or 4 weeks or so. It looks as though this often represents a man, the king, like the queen represents the woman, the king represents the male in the relationship. Looks like he's got control over it, where maybe he's the one who's jealous of you and trying to control you, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. I got a funny feeling as though he's the one who's been saying, Luke, you know, and you've been sort of saying, well, you know, can't I have male friends anymore without you thinking I'm up to something with them? That sort of thing. So it looks as though at least we've pinned it down, haven't we? But it doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad person or anything like that. Maybe just a bit possessive. Maybe he's just a bit worried that he'll lose you. So, but remind him that just like in the past, it may happen in the future. Jealousy leads to downfall. And maybe it did in the past. Maybe if he was in a previous relationship, we could hazard a guess that it was because of jealousy that fell, that his previous relationship fell as well. So that's just one thing you got to bear in mind. But as I said, we can't really define the chap by. You can't really define the guy by what he did then. We have to define him by what he's doing now. And that's what's most important, isn't it? And with that, yes, he's trying to control the situation. He's trying to be the one, or he will be the one, very soon with the authority. But as you seek a union of mind and spirit and try and get a bit of maturity going on in this relationship, maybe he will be the diplomat as well. Where the king has to be the diplomat as well as the one dishing out the orders. So maybe he might learn about himself, and maybe you're the one who could probably, if the relationship splits in the immediate or distant future, at least you will have had that effect on him, and that's whatever. But let's hope everything goes well. We can't just assume this and that, can we? I want to pull another card, actually, just to see what is going on here, or what could potentially happen. Not so much long term, but sort of in the long term of the short term, if you get what I mean. And there, Luke, of course, the raven indicating darkness on the horizon, because of this sort of not possessive, but certainly as we were mentioning before, because of this authority figure, or wanting to gain control, whatever, and the darkness is on the horizon there. So it looks as though we were right, doesn't it? Really. It doesn't have to be, of course, because it's the future. It hasn't happened yet, has it? So it doesn't have to actually be true, that doesn't. But of course we know that the cards don't lie and the energies are there, but nevertheless, forewarned is forearmed, as these cards have now spoken.